Hello and happy Wednesday, Southland Division. This is your division manager, Jay Brad Britton, coming at you with a short message at your team meetings and team events this week. Last week was the first official week of the fall campaign. Okay, those of you that are new may not know, but our company kind of doesn't have quarters like a lot of companies do. We have 3 campaigns because it's based on college semesters. And we have a spring campaign. There's an entire All-American scholarship race that goes just in the spring. The top 25 in the nation are scholarship winners. And in the summer, it's a 4-month campaign, May through August. That is a top 50 are scholarship winners. And then we have another college scholarship campaign in the fall, which goes from September through December. All right, it's a 17-week campaign for the fall. And last week was really kind of a transition week. A lot of people in their first or second week of school. Others of you that are part of the UC system schools don't go back for another couple of weeks. Some people are not in school, obviously. Some people might be taking a gap year. But it was a transition week. And as such, we had a really good week overall. We were in the top in the nation as far as divisions go. But a lot of that was driven by our LA County Fair. If you're a person that likes to go to county fairs or to go to fairs and things like that and ride the rides or see shows or whatever, I would highly recommend you spend a day and at least take half of that day or at least a couple of hours and go and visit and look, watch, and listen the LA County Fair booths. You might see Mr. Kareem El-Tawanzi, who led the division last week with $34,000 in sales. Okay, let that sink in. $34,000 he sold last week, one of his biggest weeks there at the fair. But Kareem is our cookware specialist, and they do something really different at the LA County Fair where he does a cookware show. Literally, there are chairs. He's got a microphone and speakers. He's only been doing this for, in fact, nobody in Vector or Cutco before him has ever really done this. But he's been doing this for a couple of years now, and it's really gotten his approach down. And he does these group cooking shows where he extols the benefits of Cutco cookware, which is absolutely awesome, by the way. When you understand how Cutco cookware cooks and how much the food, how much better it looks, how much better it tastes, how much faster and quicker it cooks, and how much better and more healthy the food is for you, it's really eye-opening, right? And people are spending lots of money to buy these sets of cookware, right? And anyway, it's a pretty great presentation. I would highly recommend you watching it 2 times. The first time you're just kind of catching on to the little jokes and the kind of the fun of it. But the second time through, you can really sit and take notes and come up with 5 or 6 key points that you could share with your customers about the cookware. Anyone who has any twinkle in their eye about the cookware, it's really a lot easier when you understand the cookware and know it. It's actually a lot easier of a sale even than the knives are, because the benefits are far more far deeper and far reaching because of the health benefits are so profound. Anyway, we had many people over 10,000. It was really, I was looking at all the CSPs over 10,000 for the week, and Ruben Valdez was over 10,000. He didn't even make the front page of the newsletter. That's how big of a week it was. So he really had a really great week. But I'm not going to lie, okay? The sales for our general college student group, the people that aren't working in the LA County Fair, which is only a very small elite group, we didn't have the greatest week. We had some highlights. We had some good, solid performances. But overall, I think the transition to school really has kind of got people out of their groove. And my encouragement is to get back in your groove. Okay, good reports. Ben Cooper, nice, up over two grand. Alexi Cruz, not a student, but $1,800, and they're both trying to push hard for this COC push period. Cole Phillips, fairly new fella in South Orange County. Solid week, 1,700. 2 Nates, Nate C and Nate C, one from Covina, one from Santa Monica, both over 1,000, and a lot of other good reports. Luke Solis, Vincent Yeager, Diego Salas, Alex Merrill, Sally Sigario, all on the newsletter as well. And then a lot of people with 1, 2 orders, even 3 orders. We did have a solid, a lot of people on the newsletter, on the report with some orders, but it really wasn't the kind of week that I would expect overall Southland to do. And it's not just one person. I just think it's the general feel of, I'm transitioning into school and trying to get a groove on, right? That's fairly common. It happens, but that, to let that last more than a week or 2 weeks is to really hurt yourself in a way that you don't realize that you're hurting yourself. So my challenge to you would be, if you're not at COC this weekend, push hard on a Thursday night phone jam, and make sure you get to the point where you have 3 to 5 demos ahead of you. I believe that you should always have 5 appointments ahead of you. It's just kind of one of those things that you protect yourself in the business. If you just keep 5 appointments ahead, if you have 5 ahead and you do 2 on a Saturday, make sure on that Saturday you book 2 more, right? Do 2, set 2 would be a good mantra to have. Anyway, I was thinking a lot about in the last couple of days about what it is to be great, just what it is to be great. And actually, let me tell you what prompted me to do this. And another thing, I'm going to highly encourage everybody to do this. There is an amazing podcast. Okay. I don't know if you do podcasts or not. I'm not really big into podcasts, but I am listening to basically the Cutco podcast, right? It's called Changing Lives Selling Knives, right? And it's a region manager does it and basically interviews different people. More than about half the interviewees are people who used to sell Cutco, and now they've gone on to do really amazing things in the world. And if you listen to some of these, you'll be completely blown away at the kind of impact that people are having on the world. And then there's also interviews with people in Vector currently that are doing big things in the world to change lives and doing big things within Vector. Many of you are going to be driving to Las Vegas over the next couple of days. There's some people flying. You'll be sitting in airports, driving to and from. Here's a challenge that I have for you, especially if you're in a car with 4 or 5 people. You're gonna be listening to radio, you're gonna be having fun, and Vegas, it's Vegas baby, and Viva Las Vegas, and all out of enthusiasm, excitement. But let me challenge you to listen to 2 of these podcasts, okay? And I'm gonna recommend which 2 to listen to. But there's so many that are really great in so many ways. But there's a interview with Brandon Brown, which is excellent. And then there was an interview that just came out this week with Tony Carlston. These are 2 of the top Cutco sales reps of all time. And both of them on their own merit are spectacular in many ways. And there's so many nuggets. I mean, just so many really great nuggets. But the one with Tony in particular, mainly because I just listened to this yesterday, after you learn a little bit about Tony's background and some of the things that Tony's doing in Vector, he runs branding tools and really pioneered the whole closing gift consultant program. But toward about 3/4 of the way through, 2/3 of the way through, Dan just asked Tony to share what are some keys to being great, basically, a great salesperson. And Tony just lays down some nuggets that are just spectacular. I mean, I'm going to listen to it again for sure. I want to actually listen and take notes and write it down. But I would absolutely recommend anybody who's listening to this, okay, especially if you're going to be in a car with some Vector people. And I know that people don't necessarily think about doing that, but I remember many times riding around with reps or going to conferences and listening to CDs or cassette tapes of Zig Ziglar and Anthony Robbins and Brian Tracy and Tom Hopkins and Jim Rohn, and people telling me that they really appreciated the ability to listen to some of those things. And sometimes we had a little conversation about it. Sometimes we just listened to it and talked for 1 or 2 minutes about it and then went back to listen to the radio or talking or whatever. But if you're going to be on the road for 3, 4, 5 hours on the way to Las Vegas, if you're the driver or if you're a manager and you're kind of in charge, listen to this and just have everybody listen. It's 30 minutes, 30, 40 minutes of a long drive. And nobody will say, wow, that was a waste of my time. I absolutely can guarantee you that. What it means to be great. You can even do this. Take a few minutes in your team meeting, team event, to think about what it means to be great, and have everybody jot down 5 key points. What does it mean to be great, right? And then just have a discussion on that. What does it mean to be great? And then we can ask yourself, if you were to give a talk to your high school commencement, okay, and your high school came that you went to, says, hey, you're an awesome person. You graduated from this high school. We want you to give the commencement address, right? We want you to address the students, and we want you to talk about the topic of how to be great, right? What would you say? Right? What would you say to people that wanted to be great? Or if some young person, maybe you're a sophomore in college and a person that's a junior in high school came to you and say, hey, what does it take to be great? And they were genuinely, sincerely asking you that question. I believe you have amazing answers for that question. I believe you know how to answer that question. And I believe that people are smart. And most of us know all the things that we need to do to succeed at a high level and to have fulfillment and have a joyous life. But sometimes we focus on the things that are the short-term gratification things as opposed to the things that really create greatness. If you look at my Facebook page, you'll see a little quote there that says, most people give up what they really want in life for the things that they can have right now. Right. And so I challenge you to think about, what do you really want in life? And I think that most people really want to be great. Right. And I think the answers. I mean, I have a list. I made a list. I was going to share them, but I don't even need to. But think about what it takes to be great. Write down a list of 5. Have a discussion at your team meeting, or have a discussion at a workshop or a key staff meeting at some point. And I believe you're going to come up with some pretty awesome points. But even if you come up with your really amazing, great points, listen to Brandon Brown interview, listen to the Tony Carlson interview, and you will be, you'll know more about how to be great and hopefully be inspired to do something about it. All right, everybody, take care. Have a great trip to Las Vegas. Most of you probably are going. Those of you that are new and didn't qualify and for whatever reason aren't able to join us because you haven't sold enough or whatever to be able to qualify for that. Hey, carry the torch while we're at home, right? The burden is on you to step your game up a little bit and even do more than normal, simply because half of our team, more than half our team, 3/4 of our teams are going to be off and away, learning and growing and celebrating an amazing summer at Vector. All right, take care, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. See you on Friday. Many of you later.